Anthony De Jesus. I'm the program director of the MSW program at the University of St. Joseph. I'm an associate professor, and I've been here since we founded our program 10 years ago. And we founded our program to make it possible for working adults in Connecticut to complete their MSW while continuing to work. And I'm going to begin a PowerPoint presentation to review all of the features of our program that maximize flexibility and quality of learning for our students. So at the University of St. Joseph was founded by the Sisters of Mercy in West Hartford close to 90 years ago. And the values of the institution, which are on this slide, overlap with the core values of the social work profession as articulated by the National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics. I'm not going to read through all of them, but I will point out that the value of hospitality is operationalized in our program by really making it possible for working adults and adults who have been out of school for some time to make the transition back to attend a demanding but rewarding MSW program. So all of our faculty have great experience working with working people, and I want to start with that value, emphasizing that value. By the way, I do want to mention that this info session is for employees of the Eastern Connecticut Healthcare Partnership, and there may also be some employees of other agencies that have contacted me who participate, but it's geared towards Eastern Connecticut Healthcare Partnership employees. So the way we've been able to create flexibility is through a hybrid course model where all of our courses are 50% face-to-face, classroom-based, and 50% online. The online component is asynchronous, meaning that you spend the equivalent amount of time that you're in class doing assignments online on your own time in between class sessions. Those online assignments include discussion board questions where you continue the discussion from the in-class session online and integrate knowledge obtained from course readings, videos, and lecture presentations. So that's asynchronous online. For each class session in person, there is the equivalent amount of time in terms of online assignments in between those class sessions. Our class sessions, our face-to-face class sessions are scheduled on weeknights from 6 to 9 p.m. That's Monday through Thursday nights. Not every night, but the class sessions are scheduled normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon and 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Those are all the in-class sessions scheduled on our West Hartford campus. I put an asterisk at the top here because I will be reviewing our new London model, which does offer also offer several fully remote courses, but we are not offering fully remote courses at the Greater Hartford campus currently. Our curriculum is fully accredited by the Council on Social Work Education. Our program was founded, our MSW program was founded based on the continuous success of our undergraduate BSW program that has been fully accredited since the Council on Social Work Education began accrediting undergraduate and graduate programs, so that we have a long-standing record of accreditation. Our field model in our MSW program is cutting edge, and it's like no other MSW program that I am aware of. If you learn of one, I would be very interested in meeting them. But our program differs in that we hire the clinical supervisor for all of our MSW students. That's for the foundation year internship and the advanced year internship. The prevailing model in social work education is to rely on volunteer supervisors who are providing that supervision as a professional courtesy, a professional obligation, and because they have the support from their agency to provide that supervision. That model is an important model, but it doesn't work for everybody in every school. When we started our MSW program, we budgeted to hire those supervisors. We called them clinical preceptors. And that provides two things: consistent quality clinical supervision weekly from your clinical preceptor. That clinical preceptor, in most cases, is an LCSW who is a program director or higher in your agency. We work in partnership with the agencies, all of the agencies, for the purposes of this presentation and our partnership with the Eastern Connecticut Healthcare Partnership. All of those agencies are considered partner agencies. And we will work with them in identifying clinical preceptors in the agency to provide that supervision. The foundation year internship, that's the first year in a 2-year MSW program, is 16 hours per week. That includes 3 hours of supervision, 1 hour of direct face-to-face supervision with the clinical preceptor, and 2 hours of group supervision. For those of you who are employed in direct service roles, where you are working with clients and that client is can be defined as an individual, family, group, or community, your employment would be eligible to overlap with your internship hours for that foundation year. But you would have to do the 3 hours of supervision separately. The clinical preceptor will work with your supervisor, your task and or your task supervisor if you are doing that internship in a different unit from where you are employed. But what I just mentioned, that would be the model for the advanced year internship. So the second internship is 20 hours per week and cannot overlap with your full-time responsibilities. But we will work with agencies to identify a different program within the agency where you can complete that internship. And so the 20 hours per week in some of the models that I'm going to share is extended through the summers. But in our full-time, our 2-year full-time West Hartford program, it is not. But yet there is an option to do an extended internship for 6 weeks. And that reduces the number of hours weekly to 16. Right now, I'm talking about the 2-year full-time program in West Hartford. So this just gives you an idea of the ways in which our field model creates more flexibility for working adults. And I neglected to mention that one of those key features is that clinical supervision with the preceptor is scheduled when it works for you and your schedule, not when it works for the supervisor, right? And I think that's a big difference with the model in other schools that relies on volunteer supervision. And that usually means that occurs when it's most convenient for the supervisor or the agency. So those are some of the key features of our field model. These next few slides, I'm going to review our MSW pathways. These are advanced standing pathways for individuals who have completed a bachelor's degree in social work. Normally, that they've completed that degree within the last 6 years. We will consider applicants who have completed the BSW beyond 6 years and who have evidence that they've kept up with their professional development in the field. We have a 1-year advanced standing program, which begins, it's 3 semesters. It begins in the summer, goes through the fall and spring and ends. It's a very intense program. Most of those applicants and students have recently completed their undergraduate degree and want to continue and complete. And so they are not normally working full-time, or if they are, they've made arrangements to create some more flexibility in their life and support system. The 2-year advanced standing program, and both of those programs are 33 credits, stretches out the coursework over 2 years on a part-time status. So the first year you are taking part-time courses and you are not doing your internship in the first year. Again, normally for traditional undergraduates who are finishing, this allows them to begin to work full-time and get grounded in their employment before they begin the internship in the summer of year 2. That's our 2-year advanced standing program. Later, I will share a slide that gives you a sense of the schedule for year 1 of the 2-year advanced standing program. I'll also have a slide for the 2-year full-time program. Both of those are the West Hartford programs. And I will also have a slide of the first year in our New London 2-year program. So our pathways, if you don't have an undergraduate degree in social work, a BSW, meaning you have a bachelor's degree in any other field, your options are the 61 credit 2-year full-time program in West Hartford. That is 4 semesters. So spring and fall of year 1, summer is off. Spring and fall of year 2, you begin your internship in the fall of year 1. You complete it at the end of the academic year with the option for an extension into the summer. And then you complete the second internship in the second year beginning in that fall. The New London program is 6 semesters. So it includes the summer of the first year and the second year, and internships begin or continue in the summer. So it stretches out the internship time and the coursework over the summer, creating more flexibility. And I'll show you that shortly. The programs that I've described so far are the programs that would maximize, if you are eligible, the opportunity for you to receive funding from the Connecticut Health Horizons grant, which I will talk more about. But I'll say that before I introduce our 3-year part-time program, because while you would be eligible for Connecticut Health Horizons for our 3-year program, you would not complete the program under the current window of funding under Connecticut Horizons. So in this regard, our most flexible program is our 3-year part-time program, which is completed in 8 semesters. So you begin the first year taking part-time classes in West Hartford, and you are continuing with part-time classes through the summer. And then in year 2, you begin your foundation internship, the first internship. You continue with part-time courses through the second summer. And in year 3, you continue with part-time courses and begin your final internship. Our 3-year part-time program is also one of the best options for students who may not have the strongest undergraduate background. We understand that that many excellent clinical social workers, many who've graduated from our program and are doing great work today, may not have found their calling when they were undergraduate students, and that that time in their lives might not reflect the level of focus and maturity that they have today. And so the 3-year program works really well for those students. If you are uncertain, if that description may fit you and you're uncertain and interested in the 2-year options, we will be happy to speak to you about your eligibility, and it should not preclude you from applying. This slide just gives you a description of the courses that are taken during the first year of our 2-year full-time program in West Hartford. And there's one course in the fall semester, which, as part of our partnership agreement with the Eastern Connecticut Healthcare Partnership, will be offered high flex, meaning that that course, which is a course that I'm actually going to be teaching, is scheduled for 6 weeks of in-person classes in West Hartford. For that class, it will also be available remotely for partnership employees who would take that class at the Mansfield site of United Services. So you couldn't take it remotely from home, but you could take it remotely from that location in Eastern Connecticut. So where you see the HighFlix in parentheses, that's a course option that will make it easier for Eastern Connecticut employees to make the transition to our program should you elect to come to West Hartford. Our 2-year advanced standing will offer 2 HighFlex options, and that's because there's those courses are taught in tandem for a total of 4 credits. And so that's the Advanced Standing Bridge course, which is a review of the foundation year curriculum, which BSW students have already taken those courses as part of their undergraduate degree. However, we'll review it from the context within which we teach those courses at St. Joe's. So this gives you a layout of the first year of the 2-year advanced standing curriculum. And so you see the that continues in the summer, and those advanced standing students begin their one internship, which is the advanced year internship, that summer. This slide, the next 2 slides will review our new London MSW satellite program at Mitchell College, which will be launching in about a little more than a month from now. This offers an extended option through the summers in both years to be completed in 6 semesters. And there are 5 fully remote courses in year 1. And internships will be available in your agencies or at other agencies in Eastern Connecticut. So this is the model. And I didn't mention this earlier, but the where it says online, those courses are fully remote. You take them from home, and those are scheduled on Friday evenings from 6 to 9. There is in year 1, there is one in-person class, which is that hybrid model that meets for 6 face-to-face sessions in New London. For Eastern Connecticut Partnership employees, that will be available high flex. So for year 1, in the New London program, there would be no, in the first semester, there would be no in-person class sessions. In the spring semester, there would be 2 fully remote online courses and 1 in-person class in New London that will meet for 6 sessions. Then the internship begins. I can, later on when we have Q&A, I can review more of the schedule for each of the different programs. And I'll admit, well, I won't say I admit, but this may be a bit of a teaser because it's only in the first year of the New London program that we offer fully remote courses. And that's because those are foundation courses, and we are committed to offering clinical practice courses in a hybrid format. So you have the benefit of developing those skills in a face-to-face class session where you have a relationship with your classmates and your professor. We are not a fully online MSW program, but our New London satellite program is the most flexible options that we think that we will offer in that regard. And we do think that we will have more of those courses, those remote courses available in the future tied to our West Hartford program, but they are not that's not currently the case. So I'll be happy to answer questions about that as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Um, so for the New London campus, is it only for the for people who have an undergraduate degree in social work?
that's a really important question. Thank you for asking it. Um, the New London program is only for those who do not have an undergraduate degree in social work. It's a 2-year full-time program, but we hope to offer a 1-year and 2-year advanced standing program in New London in the future, but not this year. So in this regard, I'll just mention that if you have a BSW, we may have a 1-year advanced standing option in New London next year if you wanted to consider that. But I would recommend that you apply to the 2-year advanced standing program in West Hartford. And then when we have an admissions interview, we could discuss that. So tuition, it's just over $1,000 per credit, or maybe a little bit more than just over, but it's $1,076 per credit. The 61 credit pathways, that's all of the two-year MSW programs on both campuses, and the 3-year part-time program is just over $65,000, and the advanced standing programs, the 1-year and the 2-year, are just over $35,000. There's an asterisk on this slide as well. Employees of MSW partner agencies receive a 10% tuition discount. That's all independent of the Connecticut Health Horizon grant opportunity. And so students who enroll this fall, our fall semester begins August 29th. With a plan of study that results in degree completion before January of 2026, may be eligible for up to $20,000 in grants provided through the Health Horizons program. The eligibility criteria for these grants are the following. Either you have a home address from a Connecticut Alliance school district, and I've just put the link in the chat to the PDF that lists those school districts. Or either meet the income criteria for federal Pell Grant eligibility, or have a current salary below Connecticut's living wage as identified by the MIT Living Wage Calculator. I've just put a link to that calculator in the chat. And I took a quick look at it earlier, and it's not just the number that is your income, but it also relates to your household size. So keep all that in mind as you determine whether you would be eligible. We also have a limited number of $1,000 MSW scholarships, which we offer through USJ. For eligibility and as part of the application, you would need to apply through for federal financial aid through at the FAFSA website. That's FAFSA.org. I'll put that into the chat as well. And as part of our partnership with the Eastern Connecticut Healthcare Partnership, we've created a streamlined admissions process that would enable you to, especially those of you who are eligible for this support, to streamline the application process. And we will be holding an on-site admissions event on August 3rd in Mansfield at the United Services facility. And at that, so for everyone who applies for the program before that date, I'm going to say the last day of July, you would be contacted and would be able to pre-schedule a time slot where you would spend 15 minutes responding to a writing prompt, so we get an on-site sample of your writing, and then we would conduct an admissions interview with you. We are waiving the following from the admissions, from the application. One, for everybody who's registered for this information session, we're waiving the application fee. We are waiving the essay from the application. If you really want to do it, I'll be happy to read it, but it's waived for this streamlined application. And we are waiving one letter of recommendation from the application. So you have to fill out the online application, which is available at the link I'm going to paste now. You have to complete that online application. You have to have your all undergraduate and graduate institutions attended forward official transcripts to admissions@usj.edu, and have your one recommender forward their recommendation to the link provided on the online application. Alicia Blue Glass, our graduate admissions officer, is here, and I'd like to ask her if she has anything she would like to add. And also I will put in her email in addition to mine as an additional point of contact.
Hi, thank you, Tony. Yes, Alicia Blue Glass, excuse me, I'm out here on my deck, so excuse the background here. Yes, we're going to be doing the session in Mansfield, and we have one in West Hartford. You're invited to attend either one. I will gather your emails and ship you off a message reiterating what Tony has just said in regards to what the application requirements are for that special event. Anybody that's not joining that, unfortunately, you're going to have to go through the regular admissions process, which includes the 2 letters of recommendation and your program essay. Then you would be invited for a virtual interview with faculty to complete the remainder of the normal admissions process. Decisions at these events will be rendered hopefully in real time. So you will walk away at least with an email confirming your admission to the program. We'll be waiving the tuition deposit for those in attendance at the on-campus events. We'll also waive the application fee, so don't pay that if you're planning to join one of those events on the 2nd or the 3rd. Let's see, potentially I might be able to farm back to those who are unable to attend either the second or the third on the spot event, on the spot emissions event, and go back and waive for you the application fee and the tuition deposit. So it's important, if you're looking for the waiver of the app fee, don't pay it when prompted, either way. I think he's covered pretty much everything else. The cost of the program. I'll be your initial contact through the admissions process. So if you have questions about submitting the application, what you are responsible for, what you're not responsible for, all the documents can come to us electronically. The letter of recommendation form is designed to request an email. Hopefully, please use a professional email address for your one recommender or both. And we'll generate an email to them that contains a link, and the individuals can upload their letters right to your application. Your program essay, your resume, those can all be uploaded. Once you submit the application, there's an upload feature that automatically engages, and you can upload those documents. The transcripts have to be official, so they need to come directly from your school of attendance or through one of the clearinghouses, such as Parchment, National Student Clearinghouse, or directly from your school of attendance. And I think that's about all for the documentation. So we've tried to streamline the application. You don't have to run around getting paper and, trying to have people mail us things. So this should also cut down on the time that you need to complete the application in anticipation of either of those events on the 2nd or the 3rd, as well as for those who might be going through the standard admissions criteria. If you have any questions, Tony's put my email in there, so feel free to reach out. I'm just quickly grazing through, but I think I've glassed it just about on everything. If I'm not clear on something, feel free to shoot me an email as well. I'll put my phone number in if that's easier for you. Where is my chat box? And 860 5602. So again, we're open for questions for myself or Dr. Diaz.
Thank you, Alicia. So now we're open for questions. You can raise your hand, you can ask the question, you can put the question in the chat. Yes, Gabriella.
Yeah, so sorry, I was reading something when you were talking earlier. Are we still eligible to apply for the FAFSA for this year?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, you would need to complete just the 23-24, since the academic year begins each fall. So one each year.
And it doesn't matter how late we're applying for the FAFSA because it's a graduate degree and they don't offer any grants for the FAFSA.
Precisely.
Okay.
Precisely. Grad students can apply at any time during the year.
Is it Shemekia?
Shamika.
Shamika, sorry about that.
Yes, I have a question. I have a master's in science, but I work with mental health and addiction services for almost 20 years. So do you think this program will work for me, even though I don't have a BSW?
Unfortunately, we only can accept transfer credits from other accredited social work programs
Okay.
towards the MSW. So we would not be able to accept transfer credits from a non-social work degree.
Okay.
Alicia might be able to comment on some of our other programs here, like our mental health counseling program, but not for our MSW.
Okay. And I couldn't start from the beginning?
You absolutely could. You absolutely could. You would be well qualified given what you've you've described, but we would not be able to offer transfer credit.
Okay.
If you want to share your transcripts with me via email,
Okay.
I can take a look and, we can have a conversation and just to ensure that we have the proper understanding of your situation.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions? I'm going to end the recording.